The gods of ancient Greek mythology represented fundamental forces and aspects of nature, human psychology, and civilization. The most powerful among them controlled the unmatched forces of lightning, the oceans, the underworld, wisdom, and more. These dominant deities were the central figures in Greek myths for their ability to influence events, reward mortals, and enact swift punishment on transgressors. This video explores the 10 mightiest gods of the Greek pantheon, their abilities, deeds, and role in society. As the messenger god, Hermes was constantly traveling between the divine realm, Earth, and the underworld, delivering information and conducting souls of the dead. He wore winged sandals and a helmet, carried a caduceus staff, and was perpetually in motion. As such, he was revered for endowing mortals involved in any form of exchange or movement, trade, sports, and communication with good fortune. He himself had many abilities like shape-shifting, inducing sleep, and even resurrecting the dead that allowed him to effortlessly navigate all realms. Though often portrayed as lighthearted, the unpredictable Hermes had a darker aspect. As guide of souls to the underworld, he essentially determined the manner of a mortal's death. Traders, heralds, and all people associated with exchange regarded him as both a helper and also a force to be feared if he was disrespected. As such, Hermes played the important role of connecting mortals to the gods through both language and safe passage to the afterlife. As the queen of the gods and goddess of marriage, women, and birth, Hera was both a protector and also an avenger. She was depicted as a figure of matronly care, but also of jealousy and vindictiveness when angered by Zeus's constant affairs and illegitimate children. As guardian of social order, she harshly punished any oath breakers with curses. Underneath her regal and calm exterior, Hera also had stormy and destructive aspects when provoked. Hera possessed great abilities to confer blessings upon cities and people she favored, allowing them to prosper and be fertile. But her wrath was believed to cause terrible storms, plagues, and misfortunes of all types. She could control the weather, turn mortals into animals, and even strip heroes of their God-given powers. Zeus himself feared her vindictiveness when it came to his lovers and illegitimate offspring. Hera was worshipped as one of the most powerful figures for all women. The blacksmith of the gods, Hephaestus dwelled deep below Mount Olympus, tirelessly crafting magnificent artifacts, weapons, and armor for his fellow deities. Though often mocked for his lameness and unattractive appearance, Hephaestus created some of the greatest marvels, including Achilles' unbreakable armor and many of the automated bronze guardians to protect Mount Olympus. His incredible metalworking skills and searing hot forges containing the fire of Olympus itself allowed him to build anything that the gods needed. Hephaestus even created his own assistants, golden robots, gifted with intelligence to help him. In many ways, Hephaestus channeled the incredible primal forces of fire into metalwork and inventions for the gods. Aries was the son of Zeus and Hera, embodying the raw violence and physicality of war in contrast to Athena's strategic approach. As the god of war and strife, he appeared as a dangerous armored figure who instigated conflict and fueled the aggressive spirits of mortals. Ares himself would charge into battles in a bronze chariot drawn by fiery horses, striking fear into enemy forces with his shouts and weapons. He was often accompanied by his sons Deimos, terror, and Phobos, fear, as well as his lover, the goddess Enyo, who spread bloodshed. Though not popular in Greek society, Ares was undeniably a powerful force who influenced the outcome of many battles. The violent yet glorious aspects of war were his domain. He was associated with the wildfire and storms of battle, delighting in the chaos and savagery of armed combat. His Roman counterpart Mars came to be more widely revered as a warrior god. Overall, Ares represented the sheer visceral thrill and horrors of the battlefield during Greek antiquity. The virgin goddess Artemis guarded the wilderness and hunting. She roamed swiftly through the forests with her bow, seeking prey and protecting wild beasts. As an embodiment of untamed nature, Artemis commanded tremendous power over land creatures and hunters. She could give boons of successful hunting or punish transgressors with sickness or transformation into animals. Artemis watched over women and children as well, unleashing her wrath upon mortals who broke oaths and codes of behavior. Even Zeus avoided invoking her anger unnecessarily. Artemis would slay from afar with her deadly plague-tipped arrows or have wild beasts tear apart those who offended her. She was depicted as free-spirited and fiercely independent, threatening even gods who underestimated her. Overall, Artemis was a complex goddess who embodied the beautiful yet savage qualities of the wilderness itself. Born directly from Zeus's head in full armor, Athena was the mighty goddess of wisdom, courage, strategic warfare, and civilization. She remained Zeus's most loyal advisor and supporter in decisive battles against the giants and titans. As goddess of wisdom, Athena inspired and empowered many Greek heroes in their quests. With her deep intelligence and understanding of strategy, she led them to improbable victories against overwhelming odds. Athena could also demonstrate remarkable valor on the battlefield when needed. In the Trojan War, she bested even the god of war Aries in combat when he fought for the Trojans. The monstrous Gorgon Medusa's gaze that turned mortals into stone was also a weapon that she would turn against enemies. Athena later lifted her protection from Odysseus, causing him years of wandering before he could return home. Hence, she could both bless and punish mortals, depending on if they pleased her. The god Apollo embodied many attributes: music, healing, prophecy, archery, and the sun itself. As the archetype of male youth and beauty, he was depicted as eternally young and handsome. Apollo traveled the earth in a shining golden chariot or boat, lighting up the skies. From his all-seeing seat, he also observed mankind's deeds and punished the wicked. His most fearsome weapons were the unerring arrows from his silver bow, which took countless mortal lives when he was angered. With just a few arrows, Apollo could decimate entire armies and cities. As god of prophecy and oracles, Apollo could wield knowledge of future events, which made him very powerful indeed. His oracles guided many Greek heroes in their quests. Apollo could also inflict plagues and disease on humanity, if he chose to. Overall, Apollo was revered as a complex god with dominion over many facets of life: music, knowledge, health, discernment, and light itself. Hades was Zeus's brother, who ruled the underworld where mortal souls journeyed after death. He governed the vast shadowy realm beneath the earth. All the riches, such as precious metals and stones, came from the underground realms under Hades' command. As such, he became associated with wealth as well. The dark god was deeply feared yet respected, as he determined the afterlife of every mortal. Very few souls who journeyed to his realm ever left. Only the heroes Orpheus, Heracles, and Odysseus managed to enter and exit the underworld. Hades protected his domain fiercely with his invisibility helmet that allowed him to move around unseen even by other gods. He was among the mightiest gods, not only for the breadth of his domain, but also because very few dared to confront or try to deceive him. As the god of the sea, earthquakes, and storms, Poseidon held dominion over the oceans and could summon massive tidal waves and violent storms that could destroy entire cities and sink naval fleets in the blink of an eye. His fits of rage were known to cause tremendous earthquakes and sea storms that took countless mortal lives. He traveled on the seas in a magnificent chariot drawn by golden hippocampi, horses with fishtails. Poseidon carried a powerful trident that could manifest whirlpools and shatter rocks. With this and his command over water, he could drown lands on a whim. Maritime traders made copious offerings to him before setting sail to temper his volatile moods. None dared venture far out to sea without securing Poseidon's blessing first. Overall, he was rivaled only by Zeus in terms of elemental power and influence over fate. Zeus was the mighty king of the Olympian gods. After leading his siblings to overthrow the Titans, Zeus took his father Kronos' place to rule over the cosmos from his throne on Mount Olympus. As the god of thunder, lightning, and the sky, he commanded extraordinary power over meteorological phenomena. Zeus upheld justice and enforced cosmic order with the fearsome bolts of lightning that were his weapons of punishment against those who defied him. Both mortals and immortals risked inciting the fury of his lightning if they angered him. Zeus also had the abilities to transform into animals, control other deities to a large extent, and confer skills upon favored mortals. His unchallenged authority was symbolized by the Aegis, a powerful shield with the head of the Gorgon Medusa on it. Zeus was married to his sister Hera, but had countless affairs with goddesses and mortal women alike. Even the bravest heroes and gods feared provoking the wrath of the mighty Zeus.